Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I apologize for this late video, but hey, it is Friday, and some people drink some wine from time to time. But a very good friend of mine sent me this article regarding Bashar al-Assad being poisoned in Moscow. So the tyrant from Syria who fled and asked for political asylum in Moscow was poisoned. Who poisoned him? We're going to use logic, okay? I know logic is not popular with these pieces of shit, but anyway, here is one of the articles. The Sun, the US Sun, BID Exiled Syrian tyrant Bashar al-Assad poisoned, quotation mark, in assassination bid, quotation mark, which left him struggling to breathe. That kind of thing, okay? The news comes as rumors circulate that Assad's wife Asma is seeking a divorce. By the way, these guys will throw at this guy anything they have, including the kitchen sink. Assad's wife was diagnosed with cancer. He fled. He's a tyrant. He fled Syria. He allegedly has been poisoned. By whom? By the Russians? I will show you another article. Remember when some people, I would say traitors of the Russian Federation, were poisoned in London, England, they immediately said it must be the adversaries. Logically correct, which were the Russians. Well, Bashar al-Assad was poisoned by his adversaries, who are the Americans. No? Or by the British? No? Or the Russians just send their losing, how do you call it, unprofessional squads to do something only Mossad and CIA is able to do, like finish the job? As I said, the Russian special forces need some training in CIA offices or Mossad offices to learn to be professional, man. Once in a while, at least. All right, that's the first article, and reads the first, how do you call it, whatever it's called. A poisoning attempt has been made on ousted dictator Bashar al-Assad. It has been claimed. The toppled Syrian tyrant has been under Vladimir Putin's protection in Moscow since December 8 last year. But online accounts General SVR, supposedly run by a former top spy in Russia, says he was taken ill on Sunday. It claims Assad, 59, asked for medical help, then almost immediately began to cough violently and choke. The source says there is every reason to believe an assassination attempt was made. Assad was said to have been treated in his apartment and his condition supposedly stabilized on Monday. Tests were reported to show he had poison in his system. No sources were cited, and there has been no confirmation from Russia. All right, so let's see. Boom. Oh, not you, baby doll. I do it later. Thank you very much. I will not subscribe. Ousted Syrian President Bashar al-Assad poisoned in Moscow. Hospitalized reports. As per reports, Bashar al-Assad, ousted Syrian president, has been poisoned in Moscow and is currently hospitalized. His condition is said to be stable. Okay, let's see what the Russians say. Russia Today. Nothing. Let's see. Sputnik. Nothing. All right. What could have happened? Well, if Bashar al-Assad has so many enemies, would it be logically to just assume, an assumption is not evidence, that Bashar al-Assad was poisoned by his enemies? Who are Bashar al-Assad's enemies? Many, many, many. Why? Because he was a bad person. So the lovers of freedom, democracy, and goodness are the Americans. Assad, enemy. And the Brits, Bashar, enemy. NATO, Bashar, enemy. Israel, Bashar, enemy. Russia, Bashar, not enemy. Iran, Bashar, not enemy. China, Assad, no enemy. So, just by using this logic that they ask us to use when someone is poisoned in, let's say, London, Great Britain, used to be England, but hey, why shouldn't we be inclusive? Then it's obviously the Russians. Why? Because Novichok poison was used. So if someone used a Colt pistol, revolver, to shoot someone, you're gonna go to the Czech Republic and say, hey, Colt is owned by the Czech Republic. Good job, Americans. You suck. So, yeah, that's exactly what I say. It's owned by the Czech Republic. Your Colt, I own a Colt Python. It's owned by the Czechs. So, nevertheless, let's put Remington. Remington, someone uses a Remington rifle, must be the Americans. So that was the logic required of you, my free, intelligent, sophisticated, free people of the West, to believe that if a Remington was used to assassinate someone, it must be the Americans because Remington is an American arms manufacturing company. How idiotic. Did you believe that? No, you didn't. You know why? Because you are here with me in the minute 7. And if you're still with me in the minute 7, that means you're not a baboon. They are the baboons. So when they said those guys were poisoned by Novichok, and that is Russian agent, many other countries have that Novichok agent. No problem, it must have been the Russians. So if someone was shot dead by an AK-47, must be the Russians or the Chinese or the Romanians or the Iranians or whom? Who manufactures AK-47s? All these guys. So same here. If the Russians are responsible for assassinating people in London that they don't like, then let's use the same logic. Bashar al-Assad could have been poisoned by his enemies, which are the Americans, are the French, are the Brits, are the Israelis. No? Oh, no. You know why? Because we don't do this, Emil. We are the good people. No, we don't do this. Let me rub one short fast for you. Well, my friends, what do you think? Was that an attempted assassination? I don't know. Could have been the Russian? Yeah, but you always go to the main suspect, like in Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream pipelines, which was obviously the Al Capone. Al Capone was the main subject in proportion of about 70%. Everybody else was garbage. Not much. But nevertheless, these guys choose to look the other way. So please now, when you're going to read the news in the free press of the West, make sure that you keep this in mind. The Russians poison their enemies in London. The Americans never poison their enemies in Moscow. If you want to be a baboon, just listen to that narrative. If you want to be a free person with free thinking, then, ask questions. Be skeptical. Everything I say here, I want you to verify. Once we build a trustworthy relationship, then you drop your guard, but always verify, my friends. So use the same logic. The Russians could have poisoned him. Yeah, they could have, just to blame the other guys. But if we use the same logic as being accepted, then you should accept it in the same way as in London. Could there have been MI6 or CIA poisoning those guys in London? And if you say no, oh boy, we got a lot of work to do. Because you don't know how the world really works. You think that some people are really good and other people are really evil. Well, then how should I put it? Mildly. I suggest you go and read that book, the good book that don't lie, okay? And tell me when Noah built the ark when he was 600 years old, and when Noah died when he was 900 years old, not 90, 900 years old, okay? All right, my friend. So, who killed him or who tried to kill him? Not his friends, but not impossible. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.